Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, the latest in the Amanda Johnson murder trial. A major endorsement for a state representative District 30 candidate. And a warming center in Victoria has been over capacity the past 2 nights.
We have one more night of bitter cold temperatures. All of us from Houston, Austin, Victoria, all the way down to the valley are under a hard freeze warning as we're looking for a low temperature of about 24. We'll have all that and talk about the warming trend coming in later this week.
A divisional round showdown with Baltimore-Houston trying to get over that hump. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Karina Garcia has the night off. The city of Port Lavaca public water system is asking residents to boil their water before consumption. This includes for washing hands, washing your face, brushing your teeth, and drinking water. The Texas Commission on Environmental Quality issued the boil water notice after the freezing temperatures caused a mechanical failure, which led to a reduced distribution and system pressure. Workers repaired the main break and the water pressure will return to normal levels after a few hours. Children, seniors, and people with weakened immune systems are particularly vulnerable to harmful bacteria. You can call that number on your screen if you have questions. This is an alert day, and let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. Mac, it has been a bit warmer today, but we are still under 2 warnings.
Yes, we do have 2 warnings. First of all, we have the wind chill advisory, and we also have a hard freeze advisory. Temperatures, as you can see right about here, are in the 20s pretty much everywhere, so we're going to be nosediving down into the low 20s by sunrise. We were at 21 this morning and set a new record, and we're going to be very close to that tomorrow morning. The good news is that by tomorrow, these northerly winds will be turning around, and once they become southerly winds, we'll finally get out of this deep freeze. As a matter of fact, as you can see here, most of the southern half of the state continues with the hard freeze advisory because 24 degrees is not normal around here, and not even in January. We'll talk about the warming trend and the rain for next weekend coming up a little bit later on. Don, back to you.
Mac, thank you. The Salvation Army of Victoria Warming Center will be open for a 3rd straight night tonight. On the first night, 21 guests stayed overnight at the Salvation Army, 1302 North Lewis Street. The second night, 22 guests stayed there. The shelter capacity is 18, and they say they are experiencing higher than usual numbers for the center, as well as having between 16 to 20 guests during the day at any given time. The Salvation Army of Victoria headquarters opens as a warming center anytime the temperature drops below 35 degrees or below 30 degrees in wind chill. 2 more warming centers remain open in Victoria. The warming center at First United Methodist Church, 407 North Bridge Street, will close at 8 a.m. Wednesday. The church is collecting donations of bottled water, individually packaged snacks, light throw blankets, or socks. A 3rd warming center in Victoria is now open. Our Lady of Sorrows Trinity Hall, 204 West River Street, will be open until 8 a.m. Wednesday. Families are encouraged to come. Calhoun County ISD schools will open 2 hours later than usual Wednesday. Bus routes will also run 2 hours later than usual. They also suggest for students to bring their own water bottles since Port Lavaca is under a boil water notice. 2 warming centers are now open in Calhoun County. The Bayside Community Church at 25,080 State Highway 172 in Port Alto is now open until Wednesday. Pets and carriers are allowed. Call the church at 361-893-5918. The Bethel Assembly of God, 305 West Warehouse in Port Lavaca is now open through Wednesday. For more info, call Joel Flores at 361-550-9322. Pets and carriers are allowed there too. There will be 2 warming centers in Cuero open. The Cuero Fire Department, 219 East Main Street, is open from 8 a.m. through 5 o'clock p.m. through Wednesday. Also, the Cuero Municipal Library, 207 East Main Street, will be open as a warming center on Tuesday and Wednesday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. The library's phone number is 361-275-2864. The Matagorda County Courthouse was closed due to inclement weather Tuesday. No courts were in session and cases will require rescheduling, and that includes the pretrial hearing set for Fernando Acosta Jr. He's accused in the death of Amanda Johnson. She was a mother of 2 children. Acosta is out on bond. A murder trial date is set for February 26th. On April 18th, 2021, the Matagorda County Sheriff's Office found human remains in a burned-out 2018 Ford Explorer. Acosta is indicted on charges of tampering with evidence, abuse of corpse, and murder. Port Lavaca police arrested 17-year-old Frank Sandoval Sunday. Authorities tell us at a party, Sandoval was playing with a gun when it went off. A 16-year-old juvenile was shot and then transported to the hospital. The juvenile later died. Sandoval is charged with criminal negligent homicide. He is in the Calhoun County Jail in lieu of $500,000 bond. Victoria County Sheriff's deputies arrested 2 suspects earlier this week on fugitive from justice out-of-state charges. 30-year-old Riley Cameron was arrested in the 22,000 block of U.S. Highway 59 North after a traffic stop. Cameron is wanted on an assault charge out of Colorado. VCSO deputies arrested 35-year-old Nicole Cameron in the 200 block of West 7th Street in Bloomington. Cameron is wanted on a charge of aggravated assault of a family member out of Pulaski County, Arkansas. Both Cameron and Caldwell are in the Victoria County Jail. No bond set on either suspect. Governor Greg Abbott Tuesday endorsed Jeff Bouknight for State Representative District 30. The former Victoria mayor has also been endorsed by Jeannie Morrison, the longtime state representative from District 30, who is not running for re-election. Bouknight is running against Brett Baldwin, Vanessa Hicks Callaway, and A.J. Louderback in the Republican primary. In a statement, Governor Abbott said, quote, Jeff Bouknight is the kind of new conservative leader we need in Austin to deliver results in the Texas House. I know Jeff will be a dependable partner in Austin as we work to secure our southern border and expand school choice for all Texas families. I am proud to endorse Jeff Bouknight, and I urge all Texans in House District 30 to join me in supporting him this year. The Texas Tribune reported that Governor Greg Abbott received $6 million in his campaign contribution from national Republican megadonor Jeff Yass. He is a supporter of school vouchers, which Governor Abbott had spent last year pushing for a voucher program in the state, but has so far been unsuccessful. Your viewer poll question tonight is, should Governor Abbott make school choice a top priority? Yes or no? Let's look at the numbers. 20% of our voters say yes, 80% say no. We thank you for voting and come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. Early voting for City of Victoria Mayor starts tomorrow and runs through January 30th. Early voting is at the Dr. Patty Dotson Public Health Center, 2805 North Navarro, Classroom A, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. On the ballot, Josephine Solis, Peter Brown, Robert Bob Constantine, Jacob Sauceda, Carissa Winters, and Dwayne Crocker. Join us Saturday, February 3rd for complete coverage of the special mayoral election. For any residents who have an interest in getting involved with Victoria's government, you can apply to run for City Council starting tomorrow. Residents can run for any of the 4 regular City Council District 1, 2, 3, and 4 seats. An informational session about the roles of City Council members will be held on February 6th at 10 a.m. at the City Council chambers. That's on 107 West Wan Lin Street. An election will be held on May 4th. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. Stay with us. Disgraced lawyer and convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh returned to court in the request for a new trial. That's coming up on 25 News now at 10. Also ahead, despite winning big in the Iowa caucus, former President Donald Trump returned to court to face another legal challenge. Convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh returned to court for a status conference hearing concerning a request for a new trial. He was convicted in June 2021 in the shooting deaths of his wife and son and given 2 life sentences. However, his defense team filed a motion for a new trial last October, claiming that the Colleton County Clerk of Court tampered with the jury. Today, the judge in the case ordered an evidentiary hearing from January 29th through the 31st. All 12 jurors and the county clerk will be called to testify. Former President Donald Trump is fresh off his victory in Iowa. However, in New York City, jury selection is underway in a case that will decide how much more money Trump will have to pay to E. Jean Carroll in the defamation suit she won against him in May 2023.
Just hours after winning the Iowa caucuses, former President Donald Trump was in a courtroom, arriving in New York City, where a jury will decide how much he will pay E. Jean Carroll in her defamation lawsuit. Trump twisted and turned in his seat as prospective jurors answered questions about their political affiliations, voting habits, campaign donations, any experience with sexual assault, and familiarity with E. Jean Carroll's column in Elle magazine. 3 dismissed after admitting they could not be fair. After hours of questioning, the 9-person panel seated this afternoon. Another jury had already decided in a separate trial last year that Trump is liable for sexually assaulting Carroll in the dressing room of a Manhattan department store in the 90s, and that he defamed her in a 2022 social media post by calling her allegations a hoax and a lie, saying this woman is not my type. The judge reminding the court, saying this trial is limited to the issue of the money. Trump has denied all wrongdoing and has said he doesn't know who Carroll is. He was seated directly behind her and her counsel in the courtroom. His team at one point sparring with the judge, asking to postpone the trial so that Trump can attend his mother-in-law's funeral, to which the judge denied. And Trump is set to travel to New Hampshire later today. This year, though, he's expected to split his time between the courtroom and the campaign trail. Reminder, he faces 91 felony counts and multiple legal battles. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
New studies have found that drinking a glass or more of 100% fruit juice each day was linked to weight gain in children and adults. Doctors say it's likely because you can easily drink too much in one setting. The issue falls on how the juice impacts the body. Fruits have natural sugar that slowly releases into the body, but when drinking it as juice, it floods the system. Doctors say fruit juice should be seen as an occasional sweet treat and not a way to quench thirst. There are millions of older adults who have trouble hearing, but most don't wear hearing aids. Experts say this is a serious issue that often goes untreated.
Hearing loss is a huge problem in the United States. Researchers at Johns Hopkins found that 2/3 of adults over the age of 71 have some degree of hearing loss. Hearing loss was more common in white men, people of lower income, and people with a lower education level. Studies are finding that hearing loss leads to dementia, which makes it even more important to treat. But only 29% of people who have hearing loss actually use a hearing aid. African Americans, Hispanics, and people with low income are even less likely to use hearing aids. Hearing aids are now available over the counter, which could make them more accessible. Talk to your doctor if you're struggling to hear and think you could benefit from hearing aids. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
Join 25 News Now anchor Karina Garcia for the 2024 Crossroads Heart and Stroke Walk. The event takes place on Saturday, February 3rd at 8 a.m. The walk will start at 8:15 at Riverside Park, located on 311 Memorial Drive. To register or donate, visit crossroadsheartwalk.org to sign up. A helicopter rescue took place in Powell County, Kentucky, after 4 college students got trapped on a rock at a gorge. The frigid and snowy weather prevented the students from getting off the rock, so rescuers had to use a helicopter. Rescuers had said getting off the rock was tricky even for experienced climbers, and the students didn't bring any rope with them. However, all 4 had been saved and came out of the event with a very important life lesson of being prepared.
That's right. A Boy Scout would have been ready. Good evening, everyone. 26 degrees right now, so we're really headed down to that 21 or 22 degree temperature tonight. This morning we were at 21, and this afternoon we only got up to 36. We were above freezing for 4 hours. and that 21 is a new record low for the date. So here we are in January. It's supposed to be cold, but this cold? Well, here's the good news. We have the hard freeze warning and the wind chill warning as well for tonight. But by tomorrow, this could be gone. We'll be talking about that coming up in just a moment. Well, good evening, everyone. You know the joke, right? I've been wearing this coat when it's below 32 for about 15 years. It's that old, but it's comfortable and it's a visual reminder that it's below freezing. Well, guess what? Tomorrow night, I don't think I'll be wearing it. So this is why. Tomorrow morning will be at 24. Thursday morning will be at 42, and then 42 on Friday, a little chill for Saturday. But as we get into the weekend, we're actually going to go into a bit of a rain pattern. And so we're not going to be in this cold, dry pattern we've been in. Again, everybody's in the 20s, mid-20s right about now. And at a 25 in Gonzales, 24 in Nixon, 26 for us right now here in Victoria. But the big difference is going to be the wind. Right now, it's out of the northeast, less than 10, 15 miles an hour. By tomorrow, it's going to turn around, and as it turns around, it starts bringing in that Gulf air. That's going to be milder air that's going to be rolling back into the area, so that's going to moderate our temperature. Everybody from Houston to Austin to the Valley, certainly all the crossroads is under a hard freeze warning for those temperatures that'll be in the mid to low 20s. And of course, the wind chill advisory also exists because the wind and the cold combine to make it feel colder on you. So here's Future Tracker, and you can see how all the Gulf air and even the cloud cover, it basically went out to sea. It's going to be rolling back in, and that's moderate air, that's milder temperatures. We won't be wearing these old coats, and so you'll be able to get out and about for the next couple of days. Now, as we get to the weekend, we're going to see a big surge of tropical moisture coming up from the southwest, actually, over our area, and that's why we've got maybe about 3 days of rain coming in for the weekend. Around the state, everybody's on the chilly side. As you can see, Dallas is down to 18, Amarillo's down to 16, and these temperatures are also going to moderate as that south wind starts kicking in and affecting pretty much the entire state. Here's the Arctic high. It basically came down from the winter wonderland up there, dropped over us and brought us that cold north wind. Well, it's going to be moving east. As a matter of fact, by tomorrow it should be out over Georgia, and that will open the back door and allow the Gulf air to roll in. We're also going to be seeing this storm developing out in the Rockies, which is our next storm. It's going to be out there for a day or so, and then by the time we get to early Friday morning, it's going to pass through as a dry front. It's going to be deep enough that it's going to blow all the clouds away, and therefore it's going to be cold and dry for about a day or so. And then we start watching to the southwest. Watch this. Down about here, a jet of moisture is going to come in. It's going to give us a lot of moisture, and so by Sunday we start picking up rain. Monday and Tuesday, right now, the computer models are telling me, it's going to be a lot of rain. So it may be about 3 days of much necessary rainfall for our area beginning by the time we get to Monday. So let's take a look at your day planners. For those of you in Port Lavaca, you're getting down to 30 tomorrow morning and up to 47 in the afternoon. Balmy, I tell you, with a few clouds, but generally sunny skies. And for Cuero, we're getting down to 26. That's when you get out in the morning and out feed the animals. You know how that goes. And then 47 will be the afternoon high with lots of sunshine right about there. So let's take a look at the long term. We warm up to about 53, generally speaking, with sunshine Wednesday. Thursday's looking actually pretty good, getting up to 68. But then that front comes through early on Friday morning. And so on Friday, we're going to be a little cooler, a little windy, and quite dry. Saturday is okay, but by Sunday we start picking up a rain chance, and Monday, Tuesday right now look fairly rainy. A lot of rain. That would be good. We could certainly use that. That's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Zach Brown with your sports.
Well, Mac, like Don said earlier, it's perfect basketball weather because you get to play it inside. Well, I caught up with two of those teams. I'll have that in sports. Victoria East Lady Titans are 20-9, 4-0 in district play, and currently tied for first place in that district. Pretty big game tomorrow at Gregory Portland, who comes in at 3-1 in district. The East Titans looking to further cement themselves amongst the top as they continue their chase for a district title. The girls looking fantastic so far this year. Part of that being another year with largely the same group. With that extra year comes an extra level of play that's been unlocked so far.
We know everybody's disadvantages and advantages, so we can use those to our ability. We definitely did build off of last year. Losing makes us want to win this year, makes us want to be district champs and go further on in playoffs as we did last year.
They're a year older. They have more experience. I definitely think that our inside game has definitely improved. We're shooting a higher percentage from the in the paint, so I think that's been a great asset to us.
Wimbush North also says they're a fun group that puts the work in every day. The other East team, the East Titan boys, also much better this year. They went 3-6 in district play last year and are already 3-1 this year, so they have matched their district win total from last year in the early going. But what a test they have tomorrow against a tough Gregory Portland team that is undefeated in district and 22-4 overall. Gregory Portland has great size, but East can get up and down the court in a heartbeat, and that could be the key to a victory.
I know that they're not as fast and athletic as us. You know, we do have a lot of athletes, so that's what we're going to try to build into the game plan, you know, using more of our speed and our athleticism and really get them running up and down the court and get them a lot of switches on their big man.
They got some size on them, but I feel like if we execute, do our job, we can come out with the win. Transitions have to be our game. They have a big man, so we're going to have to stop him, but transition's going to be our best friend here. Just have to work together. I mean, there's a team for a reason, so we're going to have to work together and get this win.
The East Titans shattering expectations, great measuring stick against a great Gregory Portland team. The Houston Texans will hit the road to Baltimore for a Saturday divisional round showdown. Houston has never won in the divisional round. Last time they were there, the infamous 24-0 lead that they blew in less than a quarter. Houston did play Baltimore in week 1 this year. Didn't look that bad. Lamar Jackson only has one career playoff win, yet Vegas favoring the Ravens by 9 points. Some Sooner-on-Sooner violence last night. Baker Mayfield for Tampa, Jalen Hurts for the Eagles, and what a collapse in the last month plus from Philly. From being unstoppable all year to a first-round exit, and with that loss, Jason Kelce, who of course is the brother of Travis Kelce, has announced he will be retiring. The 36-year-old was drafted in the 6th round of the 2011 NFL Draft by the Eagles, where he played his entire career. He won a Super Bowl. It was a 6-time first-team All-Pro center. Could be in Canton very soon. And by the way, Lamar Jackson's number is much worse in the playoffs. And Don, do you smell that by chance?
Was there a gas leak? What are you talking about?
No, I think I smell an upset coming on Saturday at 3:30 on KAVU. The Texans beating the Ravens. Hot take, but hey, it's the right take.
That would be a nice smell like cologne. All right, Zach, thank you. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. We'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, one Kentucky city wants to expand its tourism outreach beyond to just Earthlings. Today, winter wonderland revelers took full advantage of the frigid temperatures in the nation's capital. A massive snowball fight took place on Washington, D.C.'s National Mall. The Washington, D.C. Snowball Fight Association planned the battle. Is that with the AFL-CIO? Anyway, in this particular showdown was hailed the Battle of Snoppenheimer, a nod to last year's hit film Oppenheimer. That film was the bomb. The D.C. area got several inches of snow on Monday and today, as much of the nation shivers in extremely cold temperatures. We know that. Today, authorities in Michigan rescued a dog after it fell through a thin layer of ice at a lake. The owner tried unsuccessfully to rescue the black lab named Hayes, so the Georgetown Township Fire Department answered the call and came to the rescue. The township's dive team used ropes and surface rescue suits to enter the water and get Hazel back on dry land. The fire department says she is recovering well. That is excellent news right there.
Man's best friend.
By the way, on our website, crossroadstoday.com, we have news on Crossroads school districts that all the school districts will be open tomorrow.
Yep.
But on the some that have different hours. Because weather will be much better tomorrow,
Yes.
but it still will be a little bit chilly.
Well, no,
it could be a lot chilly in the
It'll
morning.
definitely be cold early in the morning. The kids are going out early. Just bundle them up big time. The bad news is they're going to leave their jackets at school.
No,
in the
no.
afternoon.
I was one of those kids.
You know, because it's cold in the morning and it's 50 in the afternoon, and they're going to leave the jackets.
Right. Maybe not.
So bundle them up because it will be a cold morning. But by afternoon, certainly by lunchtime, I think we'll be out of freezing. And then the rest of the evening will be fairly nice, about 55 degrees. And then we'll be in the 60s on Thursday. Friday, another cold wind. But then there's rain coming in beginning on Sunday. We'll certainly have more on that later on.
Thank you, Mac. And finally tonight in Kentucky, Lexington's Convention and Visitors Bureau created an extraterrestrials guide for aliens to visit the city. It includes images of the scenery as well as the molecular structures of water and bourbon. With the blessing of the FAA, they beamed the message to Earth-sized planets 40 light years away. They also sent an audio recording of local blues music and a quote saying, "Come to Lexington. We have horses and bourbon. Just don't eat us." And they also sent a copy of the song Blue Moon of Kentucky, just to be sure.
There you go.
All right. Thanks for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. Join Carolina Astrain, meteorologist Parker Cox for 25 News Now. Sunrise starting at 5 a.m. Good night, everybody.